India today stands at a critical crossroads. With over 65% of its population under 35, we are often told that we have a demographic dividend. But what if this advantage is quietly turning into a liability? This presentation examines India's youth unemployment crisis and whether it risks becoming a demographic disaster. At the heart of the issue lies a paradox. India is witnessing a surge in higher education, more graduates than ever before. Yet nearly 40% of the graduates remain unemployed. So, the problem isn't just a lack of education, it's the inability of the economy to absorb this educated workforce. Even more concerning is the divergence between overall and youth unemployment. While the broader economy shows signs of recovery, youth unemployment remains disproportionately high at 14.8% as of early 2026. This tells us one thing clearly: growth is not translating into entry level jobs. To understand this crisis, we need to go deeper. First, jobless growth. Sectors like IT and capital intensive manufacturing are expanding, but not at hiring scale. Second, skill mismatch. Our education system produces degrees and not employability. And third, the informal sector trap. Over 90% of workers are stuck in low paying, insecure jobs with no upward mobility. So, this is not just a cyclical issue, it's structural. This did not happen overnight. From the 1980s onward, India experienced GDP growth without proportional job creation. This is what we exactly call jobless growth. Post 2013, structural improvements slowed and unemployment began rising again. Today, we are seeing the cumulative effect of decades of imbalance, as we can see in this timeline. So the question becomes, what was promised and what is the reality? The consequences go far beyond human economics. Unemployment is triggering a mental health crisis with rising anxiety and loss of self-worth among youth. It also fuels social instability from crime right to brain drain. Ultimately, it weakens the very fabric of long-term economic growth and has a very negative economic impact on our country. Addressing this crisis requires a multi-pronged approach. Here we look at the potential solutions. Firstly, education reform, aligning curriculum with industry needs and scaling vocational training. Secondly, manufacturing-led growth, especially labor-intensive sectors that can absorb large workforces and is sustainable in the long term, and this also helps make our economy self-independent. Third, entrepreneurial support. Through funding, mentorship, and regulatory ease, this will help bring a wave of entrepreneurship in our country and will help generate employment for thousands of people. And finally, policy interventions, ensuring fair wages, credit access, and social security for the citizens of the country. However, implementation of these solutions, while theoretically sound, is not straightforward. India's scale makes the execution very complex. Bureaucratic inertia slows down reforms, and significant investment is required. A realistic timeline would look like this. In the short term, which is approximately 1 to 2 years, we would require skill programs and policy tweaks in order to make the workforce more employable. Medium term, which is roughly from 3 to 5 years, manufacturing expansion and job creation to setting up of various manufacturing facilities, and long term investment in capital expenditure, which may also include foreign FDI. In the long term, which is a period of 5 to 10 years, there would require structural shift toward formal employment from the informal workforce. The biggest challenge yet remains transitioning millions out of informality into a formal, structured employment sector. India's demographic window is expected to begin closing after 2030. This means that we have limited time to act. If we succeed, we unlock unprecedented economic growth, which is fueled by a young demographic, and we can become an economic superpower. However, if we fail in order to address this issue, we face a demographic disaster. The opportunity is immense, and so is the urgency. So, the ideal time to act is now. Thank you.